had never known before, going back to issues with my father, mother, all that stuff. Apparently, I suffer from loss aversion, which is whenever I have something, I'm worried that it's going to be taken away. And that's kind of what it is. It's like, rather than enjoy success, instead I'm worried about losing it. And it's very frustrating. And I don't really know how to solve it, but at least I'm aware of some of my blind spots are getting illuminated a little bit.
I suffer from anxiety. I used to suffer from it really bad. In fact, at breakfast we were talking about it. I did a video on it. You've done stuff on it. And I was like, hey, this is why I feel this way. This is why I think my anxiety comes. And then I was like, I talked about the ways that the things that I utilize to power through it. And, starting this was this podcast. I mean, I'm not a conversationalist at all. I'm probably the most boring guy that you can.
I'll be in touch.
I don't do small talk.
You're a therapist.
I'm not good at it.
You're a therapist.
Well, I learned this from therapy because I went to three and a half years of therapy twice a week after I left the agency. And I realized when I was talking to my therapist, who is amazing, and that a lot of the things that were bothering me would just work themselves out just from me talking to her. And she might say 20 words in a 45-minute session. But just hearing me verbalize it, like, oh yeah, that is kind of, that I shouldn't be doing that. But as far as like the fear of it all going, of losing, I mean, it's interesting. I was just talking about this yesterday with John Rich, and I interviewed Jim Caviezel and about that movie, and I think it's Sound of Freedom. It's maybe the last one that's about child trafficking. At some point in that conversation, he had brought up, so we were talking about this in breakfast. I always, even when I built this, I built something that I could resell. I didn't want to be, because I still think like that. Like, this could all be taken away in the snap of a finger. It's, who knows who has somebody off and talking about one of the things there on people on rocks over. Like, this could end at any moment. And I remember Jim said, he was talking about himself, about all his cars, just all these possessions that he has. And he said, but that could all be taken away at any moment in time. And I'm ready to give it all back, because none of it actually matters. What matters is my kids and my wife and my friends. And I really took that in, and I was like, that's the only fucking way to live, man. Like, this shit really actually means anything.
It does not.
It's just shit.
It doesn't mean anything.
And so I think if you, for me, when I down to that mindset, my anxiety went. It's like, and I didn't even really have that much, but that's just the way I think now. This is all, got some cool things, some great artifacts in here, got some cool toys, but you know what? I mean, and there is an aspect to it when I think back to things much simpler. It's running a business. Now the money's there and fame, which I hate, is come with it and all these things, but it's just, when you think back, it's like that. Remember when I was a SEAL, and the only thing I had to worry about was going on top, and everything else was handled. And those were simpler times, right? And it's what I live in now. It's a complicated life.
Who the fuck are you?
It's the most complicated time in my life that I've ever lived. I mean, and so, I think, all right, well, if it does all end, then I go back to that.